The new Tony Hawks, I don't know what the hell, like, they're just like, I think everyone's on crack.
Is there a new Tony Hawk's game?
Yeah, it's got announced. Like, did you not see it here a while ago? Um, it got Tony Hawk. There was a like Activision private like showing of Tony Hawk's. You know, like for like investors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was a big banquet meal and all this stuff, and Tony Hawk's was there, and there was a big half pipe in the middle of it, because that's what you do when it's a skating game. Clearly, like, you just fucking put half pipes in places. It's like if you're revealing next Call of Duty, you just have some guy get shot in the face in front of you. Like, of course, that's what you do
At a banquet. Yeah. During a banquet, you're just sitting there with this nice violin music playing, just all eating your nice meals, and in the middle there's a fucking war going on. Get down! I can't feel my legs! Get him out of here! And everyone else is like, delectable. What a great game.
That's clearly what they do.
Or you could hear, like, while investors are talking to each other over a banquet, is this...
Yeah.
That was so fucking annoying.
I was going to say that. Like...
You'd have to time your conversations for every time they get air. So anyway, I was like... that we need to move our stocks.
Well, yeah, I think they're talking about the game. I don't think they're necessarily talking about stocks. But
no,
yeah,
if they're investors, they might be saying, well, actually, I got a good tip to invest in this game as well as investing in this one. That's why, I wasn't going to be like, so how's the wife, Terry?
I get it. They're trying to like harken back to like the original Tony Hawk's games, when like their like things back then was like they had like proper like parties, and there was like skating stuff, and it was like all like edgy and stuff. But now it's like this big banquet, and it's like it's just out of place. But the thing was, there was oh, for God's sake, the people that make the food for them,
Caterers.
There was a caterer who was obviously like, I think he ran the company, was high up or something, and he was really happy about all this stuff that he'd done, and he was like, look, I'm catering for Tony Hawk's, and took a picture. I don't know if it was a selfie or not. Took a picture, and it just had Tony Hawk on stage, and then Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 written behind it. And obviously he had no idea that like this was a secret thing.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, so he leaked it.
He puts it on Instagram. Like, because he's just happy that he's like, oh look, Tony Hawk here and stuff. Like,
isn't Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 already out? Like, isn't that an old game? Didn't 5 already happen?
I think they went up to 4.
Oh, what? And then just went to Underground?
Yeah, and then they started on the other stuff, and now they're like, look, it's going to be back to the good Tony Hawk's games.
In all due respect,
Underground was good. But
yeah,
like,
I loved Tony Hawk's games up until Underground. I loved Underground, and then after Underground 2 was alright, but it was just milking Underground and whatever. But since then, Skate, like when Skate came out, I was like, to be honest, I loved, growing up, Tony Hawk games were a big part of my gaming experience because I was a skater myself. So it was like, I love skating, and me and my mates would get together and play this game. But then Skate came out, I was like, I actually really prefer the analog stick control rather than just press a button and you do a flip. When as soon as that was like, it's like, yeah, it's fiddly and annoying, but it takes a lot more skill to do it. So
it was awesome.
When a mate sends you a video that he's arranged like a bench at the side next to a rail, and he's done even just like one heel flip onto the thing, manualed, and then did a grind across the bar and then landed it, that would be really impressive. Whereas in Tony Hawk's, it's like, no worries, 900, everything 900. And then
it's like, you can compare it to like
realism, basically.
Well, Skate is kind of like a fighter, whereas Tony Hawk's is like Dynasty Warriors.
Yes.
It's like Skate. It's like a big thing to pull off one thing, but in Tony Hawk's, you're just like,
yeah, he's just doing like, that's what you used to do, is just do as many flip and grab trips in the air, revert, and then manual to the next thing you needed to get your 6 score. And that's all you'd pretty much do, is just manual was your best friend for getting around. Yeah,
see, that's what I assumed. They would be just copying like the Skate kind of thing now. With this, they'd be like, or maybe not necessarily that, but going more in that route of like more of a serious skater and stuff. But no, there's apparently projectiles in this game. Loads of
Tony Hawk's
shit.
Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. And they've had projectiles in Tony Hawk's games before, but they've been like as like fun little side missions. Like,
like do this challenge, do this trial,
and it's like being like throw something over there, like kind of thing. But they've come out and now they fully announced it. That was months ago that the catering thing happened. They finally fully announced it, and and in like the first paragraph was how projectiles were a thing in it. So like basically, it's going to be a huge thing in the game. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
That's not how you skate.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Like, fair enough, if you're trying to go more of an arcadey route again, maybe, even though Skate clearly took over Tony Hawk's at the end, so surely you'd want to go that route.
Yeah.
Unless, if Skate was still around, then I could understand, staying with the arcadey style. But, still, like, what the fuck? Projectiles? I don't want that. I just want, like, just take it.
Didn't they bring out one with you had a board peripheral?
They had two
controller.
or three, yeah, and they all sucked apparently.
Yeah.
And the team that's making this is the team that made those ones.
Right.
And like some of they've released screenshots and apparently they're just fucking awful. Tony Hawk's. There's loads of problems with.
I think Tony Hawk's was just of a time for... I'm not saying that any other generation can't enjoy it, but it was definitely of a time for the generation of gamers that we... Like, our generation. Because
yeah.
a lot of us were skating at the time and listening to that music. So it was either... Like, I remember thinking that you would get a lot of your a lot of your music would come from Tony Hawk's. You'd be like, oh, I've got to check that album out because I really like that one song that they did. And then you find out you really love that band.
I'm not sure if that's it. I think that's it. Which doesn't look great. Like
Doesn't
some
look...
of the textures look really good, but then when you actually look at the
that's the original warehouse, isn't it, from number one?
Looks like it, yeah. And look at the other weird stuff like the lighting. Where's the lighting coming from? Not the ceiling, the ground. Like what?
That's obviously to illuminate it though, to try and make it look edgy.
I don't know if they're like if that's just for that. Like,
when it says projectiles, you have like a gun on the front of your board. It's like Tony Hawk's Pro Black
I don't
Ops.
think it's like that.
Pro Black Ops. Hey soldier, see you got your new board.
That's the. I hadn't actually seen it before. So they're in the half pipe.
They're eating in the half pipe.
It's like skaters going past you, like fuck off.
Maybe the waiting team are on skateboards.
Yeah. That'd be weird.
Here's your water, sir. Here's your meal. Like for some reason the caterers at the top of each side of the half, like the chefs are on each side at the top of the half pipe, and then the waiters just literally go and grab. Thanks for the root. Comes down and it's all fucking gone. Yeah. Just an empty plate with food stains on it. There's a lasagna. Prawn cocktail. Can I get a glass of water? Yeah, sure, come right up. Goes down. The water float. Obviously, from the speed, the water kind of just floats up out of the glass, and the next waiter that comes up to get the next stuff, and that's how it just gets
drenched.
Yeah, drenched. I am assuming that they're going at like 40 miles an hour, by the way. Like,
yeah, they're going really fast. Yeah.
Here's your food.
Right, where is it?
Still be fucking awful, wouldn't it?
Right, I've got some more screenshots, I think.
I don't think the world needs any more Tony Hawk's games. I loved them when I was a teenager. Skate took over when I became sort of like an adult and still interested in a few skating games, and now I'm really nonplussed by them. I just like the physics of it, really. That's what I like about Skate. It's got these realistic physics to it. Like even when you do a really high ollie, it's nothing as ridiculous like when you upgraded your air in Tony Hawk's, like your stats up.
Yeah.
Is that
That's the new one, so that doesn't look exactly. Look at fire. That is like PS2 fire.
Oh god, why is there fire there? And this is a skate.
Of course,
Tony Hawk's always used to have a bit of a wacky edge to it, but it was more wacky in a believable way to a degree sometimes.
Yeah.
Like ollieing over a tramp. What hijinks next? But I guess you could ollie over a tramp. Why anyone would set fire to bunting?
That doesn't look terrible. That screenshot.
That's a remake of School, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's one of my favourite levels. There's going to be loads of new skateboarders there now, aren't there? Like loads of new pro skaters.
Yeah.
You're not going to have the old lineup, I imagine. A lot of them probably retired.
Look at how badly Tony Hawk's face looks. It looks like a flat image.
He's really not bothered, is he? just pulling an indie.
Oh god, I just turned it off. He's like,
just pulling an indie.
Like,
this is an indie.
What the fuck? It looks like it's a robot. Like
this is my Benihana.
A robot wearing like Tony Hawk's face.
Someone has stretched Tony Hawk's face over a square robot skull. Yeah. They've actually just stretched his face over a brick.
So hello and welcome to the Robot Gaming Podcast, episode 75. the Joker. Sorry, I just saw the word Joker on the screen. I am Carl Lipscomb.
Are you the new Joker that everyone has a lot to say about?
Actually, I'm going to speak about that in a second. I am Carl Lipscomb, and today I am joined by
Carl Lipscomb with his face stretched over a brick.
the man that stretches faces over bricks, Josh Crunden. Yeah, I'd put a quick note on here to complain about the Suicide Squad film.
Go ahead.
Because
Is it Jared Leto, his name? I've seen it everywhere at the moment. I don't know who the fuck he is.
have you seen the new?
I've seen the
pictures
picture.
revealed,
Yeah,
that have been shown on
the latest ones with Harley Quinn.
No, the pictures of Joker.
The press release one where he's got all those tattoos?
Not the press release one. No, there's a leaked one. Let me find that for you quickly.
I might have seen it.
But
he's got really bright green hair.
Yeah, he looks better.
He's still got those stupid tattoos, though.
He's still got the stupid tattoos. I thought, like, a lot of people were like, oh, it looks like maybe he...
That got a huge load of response, though, that original press release picture with all those tattoos in it. Loads of people fucking hated that.
Yeah,
myself included, to be honest. I think it looks stupid.
Yeah, there was a bunch of people saying, oh, maybe it's that they just did that for the photos, for that photo, and they weren't there, and a lot of people like, look at this, they look photoshopped and all this. These are other people's ideas of what he could look like. That looks much better.
Much better.
But yeah, so yeah, Jared Leto's Joker, where there was, yeah, he looks better. It's a picture of him. I don't really have anything to complain apart from the tattoos. I don't mind most of the tattoos apart from the stupid damaged one across his forehead.
Yeah, where's this leaked one then?
Yeah,
just quickly.
I'm trying to find it. It's on my Facebook. I know that, but I'm gonna have to log in because I haven't logged into Facebook on it yet. But yeah, he's actually wearing clothes, which is quite nice.
It just looks like the Joker's really seen.
Yeah, a little bit. A lot of people were like, oh, like Thug Life Joker and all this stuff.
Well, exactly. It's that kind of Hoxton hipster style look, isn't it? Almost with those tattoos. Don't get me wrong. Nothing against tattoos in the slightest. But when it's done as a sort of, let's give the Joker tattoos because it makes him look more edgy. It's like, no, it makes him look more stupid. Because I wouldn't, in my own head, and everyone's got their own opinion, I wouldn't see him with tattoos. I'd see him sort of think, well, why bother?
Yeah, that's the thing I thought. Like, yeah,
he doesn't need tattoos to show how fucked up he is. His actions speak louder than what he can tattoo on himself.
Why would he care? And also, I could see him with tattoos, but I could see him with like just tattoos that he's done to himself, like just like.
I see him more as like self-harming, scratching like things onto him.
That's what I see him. He could be doing tattoos to himself. That's just in a way like, just mad like, oh, I'm bored. It's something to do, and like he likes the pain of that tattoo. Yeah, sure. Like scarification, maybe a bit more. These are some. There was other ones as well, but.
Oh yeah, I did see that one.
He looks. The expressions and movements looks like Joker to me, but he's wearing this big open, like purple shirt with this big shiny silver jacket, blazer on, and it kind of looks a bit gay, and I mean that in homosexual, not as in a derogatory term. He does look a bit flamboyant in that. It's a bit weird. The hair's a bit too green, I think. It could have been a little bit darker or something, but I don't know. I'm at the point now that it's like I just see him in the film. I'm still annoyed by the damage on his forehead. They could, if the response is bad enough, they could take that out in post.
I hope they do because it looks so stupid.
Because that's the thing. I was like, oh, maybe it's not there, but you can see clearly that there's something along his forehead.
Putting damaged on his forehead is the same as making a MySpace bulletin back in the day saying, I'm annoyed.
Yeah.
Wow. Pay attention to me.
Did you saying that? Did you see like when that press release one first came out? And then there was all the...
I saw loads of people had done their interpretation.
Yeah, did you see the MySpace one? No. There was actually a MySpace one where it was like Joker's MySpace page, and it had that picture as the photo, and then it was like...
Oh, no, I did see that, yeah.
I just thought it was really funny that you then say like the same thing.
Like one of the bulletins was something like, ugh, bats beat me again, or something like that. Ugh, huff puff, ugh. It does look like it's like doing fan service to younger, like to if scenes still exist, but that sort of scene style of things.
Yeah,
and I personally don't like it. If not that everyone should try and replicate Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger's performance was his own incarcerate or in his own idea of it as it is, and no one should try and copy it to a T because everyone should have their own style. But to go from something like that, or how I see the Joker in the comics or even the animated series, because it was still good, to go to this sort of like whiny little bitch look, which is how I see it. This sort of notice me, man. I know he does want to be noticed, but not with tattoos whiny style tattoos.
I from the pictures of the way he was moving stuff, I have a lot more faith in his acting of the Joker. But the look of it still is going to be annoying. But I don't know.
I just think he looks like Marilyn Manson, as a lot of people say. He looks like Marilyn Manson.
Yeah. But my issue with why I wanted to complain about Suicide Squad was seeing those pictures just spurred it again in me. But it's not the Joker or anything else about it. But it's just, why is this film even happening? Why now? Why already? Like, they haven't built their universe.
Yeah.
I just feel they need some groundwork before they can fucking make a film that is only about villains that have obviously already been beaten, arrested, and then forced to work for the government, which is the idea of Suicide Squad. So, like, now that just makes them all look really weak because there's no superheroes to be fighting them off. Like, I know, like, in this universe now that Batman's meant to have been around for a while, so... Okay, has he beaten them all himself and they've all gone into it? I mean, they are his villains, but it just kind of doesn't feel... That's not the way it feels like before it comes out. Apparently, there is going to be a flashback scene with Batman in it, which may make up for a lot of the stuff, like may make the villains look a bit more legitimate.
Yeah, so have it sort of like a callback halfway through so everyone goes, oh, now I get it.
Yeah,
sort of
but
thing.
Still, I just feel like these villains, at least half of them, like you didn't have to have like one in every film, but like at least do a few of them and have them actually be recognised and made characters. The only way most people are going to know these characters are if they've watched Arrow, and then they're all different actors anyway.
Yeah.
Like, Will Smith's in it. Why the fuck is Will Smith in it? Why is he Deadshot? What the fuck are they doing? Like, I love Will Smith, but seriously? And he's got a big beard in this. And he's bald. It looks really weird. His head's on the wrong way around.
Yeah. It's because you want to get big names.
Deadshot's
And
not black.
Yeah, I know. They did the same.
I don't mind, like...
They did the same with... I know the original Daredevil film was shit, but they did the same with the Kingpin. They made him this huge black guy, and no offence,
but in the Ultimate Universe, he's black like that.
But that's only... I've always seen him as white because I've always read comics as well.
But that's the thing. Most films have always been based on the Ultimate Universe. I don't know why. I guess just because it's a bit more of a modernised theme on a lot of it. But yeah, I believe Kingpin was a black, muscly guy in the Ultimate Universe. I mean, I still see him as a big, large white guy, myself. But like, as far as I know, he was that. But I thought Kingpin was still cool in that film. Yeah, he did. But I don't mind a lot of the time when they make white characters black. I don't have an issue with it. But I
don't have an issue with it, but I don't see why would you bother doing it? Well, it's sort of like, well, what's the point? I don't have an issue, but if you want us to recognise them as that, why would you change something like that?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, you're changing a character that, like, I don't know, a lot of people don't know or have little reference to. So either it's going to confuse them for that he's black, or I guess you can get away with, he's small enough of a character that a lot of people aren't going to notice or care that he's black. But that's also like, if you're changing the race of someone, fine. As if it's like, oh, this actor perfectly suits the role. Like, apparently, Fantastic Four, they've got Michael Jordan in. Michael, the actor, not the basketball player.
What's Michael Jordan doing there?
He's the Human Torch, and that was apparently because he matched what they wanted exactly. And it was like, well, we've got him because he was the right actor. Sure, his sister's a white girl, but we just changed the storyline a little bit to make that fit, because he was the perfect person for that role. So I could understand if that was the case. I'm all happy for...
I haven't seen the Fantastic Four,
well, it's not out yet, the new one.
Right.
But
I didn't watch the old ones for Fantastic Four because I always found them boring.
Yeah, I believe he's adopted in this one or something. I don't know. But
it just seems stupid that, if you look back at the Fantastic Four, apart from obviously the Thing...
Yeah.
They're all very plain-looking people.
Yeah.
There's nothing, apart from their abilities that stand them out, there's nothing, like, overtly outstanding about them. Like, Mr. Fantastic.
Aesthetically,
Yeah, Mr. Fantastic is just a sort of middle-aged man with greying hair at the sides. It's sort of like, that's not hard to do with dye. You could do that easily, you know. The Invisible Girl, I forget their name. I'm probably getting their names wrong. Invisible Woman. Sorry, because I can't stand Fantastic Four, apart from Thing.
Sue Storm.
You know, she's just a blonde woman, a shortish blonde woman. That's not hard. Johnny the Human Torch, you know, just again, sort of run-of-the-mill jock-looking guy.
Yeah.
No, he's exactly what we wanted. It's not hard to find someone that probably matches that description.
Personality-wise, like, that's what they're going for.
That's why people are called actors. You can get them to fake it.
Yeah, but that's why you do auditions, though, isn't it? It's like, oh, this person matched it, but wasn't quite, but we can make it work. Or this guy hit it exactly. We don't have.
That's
to do
your role
work.
as a director, though. You can go. Can you
Yeah,
act?
but that's why they do auditions.
Can you act? Yeah, and then they go.
Otherwise, they just pick an actor off the street and be like, "Yeah, sure, you do it."
Why not? Can you sound more enthusiastic? What, like this? That's perfect. Why didn't you just do that first time? Now I've told you what I want you to do. I know what you mean. But it seems like such a great step for something that you could have forced someone else, not forced, but you could have worked around a bit and found someone else to do that quite easily.
I don't know. It's apparently that was the case. My point.
That sounds like a bullshit excuse.
It makes perfect sense. My point is that surely Will Smith wasn't that person. They weren't like, let's look for someone to be Deadshot. Will Smith turns up for the audition. Wow, you're exactly what we wanted. How?
No, you're Will.
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was exactly the fucking sniper murderer guy that they wanted.
With no hair here, but hair here.
Like, I don't understand. At least, like, apparently he will be wearing like,
a mask.
Well, Deadshot has. I think he sometimes wears a mask. I don't know. He has the eye thing, and he is actually going to have that stuff. So, like, it's not like.
Well, they just make why don't they make a film about Deathstroke but make him a woman? Oh, she walked in, didn't know it was an all-male role only, but she was just exactly what we wanted. Whoa!
I don't know.
Isn't his name Jack Slade?
No.
No, what's his name? What's Deathstroke's name? I forget. I swear it's something
Wade
Slade.
Wilson.
Wade Wilson. Let's get this Slade and
Slade.
Slade's someone else.
No,
Slade
Wilson.
Sorry,
Slade Wilson. And Deadpool is Wade Wilson. Because Marvel ripped off Deathstroke.
That's right.
Completely. And then they were like, actually, lots of people like this character. Let's make him a completely different character, but still have like his name be the same, his look be the same, his weapons be the same.
Because they're both like badass mercenaries, except Deadpool is insane and funny, and Deathstroke's like deadly serious most of the time. Oh, yin and yang. Anyway, sorry.
At least they made them like different, and they didn't like. Well, let's just keep to the same model and just carry on ripping off DC.
Off ripping DC.
Harley Quinn does look good in this film, though she doesn't really look like the classic idea of Harley Quinn.
You're gonna hate me for saying this as well, and people will probably hate me. Not hard to make someone look like Harley Quinn. There's a lot of gear going on there.
No, right. But the thing is, if you make Harley Quinn, you usually stick exactly to the outfits that Harley Quinn classically wears. Like the more Harley Quinn stuff.
Doesn't she look more like the one out of Arkham Asylum?
No, isn't that like a Lolita?
Is it? I swear I saw a different... Bear with us, guys.
She's
Sorry.
Like a baseball t-shirt in this. Well, that's not going to give me stuff, is it?
No, and if you're really unlucky, it might give you some fan art.
I've got that stuff turned on. Right, so that's kind of what she looks like in this. There's some more other pictures.
It's the hair. Sorry, the hair is very sort of Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, the hair is, it's
that because that's Arkham Asylum style, isn't it?
Yeah, that's from Arkham Asylum. Yeah, the hair is exactly like the same. Otherwise, like classically, she's had it completely dyed like that. But so she's kind of got a.
You could see where I thought though from a distance that it was sort of because that sort of red and white almost looks very nursey.
Yeah, but they've gone quite a different idea with it, which is interesting. Like it's not. There's a better picture.
It's Lady Gaga.
Yeah, it does.
It's Lady Gaga mixed with Gwen Stefani.
Yeah, it does look a little bit. But it's cool for a different. They're obviously trying to
Harley and Stefani.
Yeah, they're obviously trying to make everyone in this film look different than what their comic book characters look like. Like Joker, ignoring the tattoos, the outfit doesn't. It's similar enough, but again, is fairly different to his.
Well,
normal
he's always
attire.
dressed quite flamboyantly, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It was only in again Heath Ledger's role of him where he looks more. It was meant to be more drab, like he'd nicked all that gear and it sort of like looked dirty and like he'd slapdash.
That was still almost like flamboyant in like.
Oh, don't you? It was
purple,
tramp chic, isn't
Yeah.
it? Really, but it worked for him because his character was more gritty, more dirty, and wasn't as. His characteristics weren't as flamboyant. He was more, although he was still insane. He wasn't like classic Joker where he'd be laughing really loudly and sort of every word would be pronounced as a, "So, Batsy," you know. Whereas Heath Ledger's more sort of hey, like this and quiet and talks a lot and licks his lips constantly, which I thought worked really well as like a nervous little habit.
Yeah. Here's
I think that there's a problem.
Have you seen this? So that's everyone.
Oh, Zombie's in it.
Yeah,
Zombie Boy.
I don't know.
Is that Zombie Boy? It looks like Zombie
I
Boy.
don't know. So you got.
It's not. My bad.
I don't know. You got Killer Croc.
Yep.
Who looks more like Grundy to me.
Yeah, Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy mixed with Thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Isn't Killer Croc meant to be much bigger than that?
Yeah, I thought so as well. Deadshot.
Will Smith.
Will Smith's ears are looking huge. I don't know if that's meant to be Deathstroke.
Who's this meant to be?
I don't know. I could have got the things up. Oh no, I guess that's Deathstroke.
So I can't see.
I don't even know if Deathstroke's actually in it. I don't know who most of these people are. I think I know who that is, but I can't remember that. I know who that is, but I can't remember.
No.
I have no idea who that is.
Where's Joker in that one then?
He's not actually. I don't think he's part of the Suicide Squad in it. I think he's just going to be in the film.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he might be what the Suicide Squad are hunting down. That would be quite interesting.
Well.
Is there any way that I'm going to find out who this is? I'm using Bing at the moment as well. It's really annoying.
The fuck are you using Bing for?
Because I haven't done anything to this laptop yet after reinstalling it all.
Sorry, everyone. This podcast has been besmirched by Bing.
Well, 2016. I meant IMDb. I meant to read the IMDb part and say that out loud, not the year part. Oh, there we go. There's a picture of him with the mask on. Deadshot. So why even get Will Smith in if he's going to be in a fucking mask? I'm happy that they put him in masks because it's annoying when they do get someone and then like they're like, oh no, let's show his face off the entire time. Like,
I'm sure they probably will throughout the film. I bet you anything. The mask is for the press release, and during the film, he'll be like, let me just take this off to talk all the time.
It'll probably be.
He'll wear it. He'll only wear it for
scenes,
he'll wear it for one shot or whatever, and then the rest of it will be like, I don't even need this.
Right, so we got Harley Quinn, Enchantress. That just shows me the massive picture.
Great, cool. Well, let's just read out the names. I don't really care to see.
Enchantress, Joker, Deadshot, Batman, Captain Boomerang,
Rick Flag, Waylon Jones.
I need to look at who the fuck. I know he's a Flash villain, but I don't know who the fuck is going to be there.
Captain Boomerang.
I
reckon he's. No, not that one.
Oh, I think it's that one. Or that one. I don't think it's that one.
Captain Boomerang.
Why would Captain Boomerang have a gun in front of him?
Because maybe he shoots boomerangs.
Oh wait, we could look at who the actor was. That would be easier to tell, wouldn't it? I don't know still. No, that's definitely not that film.
They all look very similar.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Don't worry about it. Go through the names still.
Rick Flag, Waylon Jones. Oh, Killer Croc, of course. Amanda Waller, who leads them all. Slipknot. What?
El Diablo and Hugo Strange. Oh, Hugo Strange.
Well, I don't know why I clicked Hugo Strange. I know who the fuck Hugo Strange is. I'm going to click the actor. Is he in that line? I don't think he's in that lineup.
Ike
He's going to be
Barinholtz.
someone else. He's going to just be like...
So Hugo Strange is the psychiatrist that wants to become Batman.
Yeah.
He's obsessed with Batman and Bruce Wayne and wants to become him.
It only listed... Oh, Grace as well. So I'm guessing Enchantress is going to be the really fucked up looking one. The zombie looking woman, I assume.
I bet Slipknot's the zombie looking guy.
No, I think Slipknot's that guy.
Who do you reckon he is then?
I don't know, because Slipknot said, like, I looked at the picture next to him.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
All right,
Asian
okay.
guy. Where... El Diablo. He's probably El Diablo.
Yeah.
That's him. That's him. That's who the guy with that face is.
Right.
And then Rick Flag. One sec. Let me just see. Oh, I don't know. Fucking. I need something where they just say that's that person.
It won't then. Not yet.
Well, yeah, I'll be interested in that film when it comes out, but I just don't. It's too early. I don't know why they're doing it. Sure, a lot of those villains are
I do agree with that, though. It's good to have a film based around villains for a change, rather than based
It's
around
cool.
heroes. Because I've wanted that for ages with some more Marvel villains. Like, I'd love to have a whole. People would probably disagree with me because they'd probably say he's not a very interesting character. But I'd love to have a film, even if it's just a one-off, about like origins of certain villains. Like Venom was always my favorite Spider-Man villain, so I'd love to. I know his origin, but I'd love to have a film.
But before Marvel made this new Spider-Man deal, there were the next film in the line was a Sinister Six movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they were meant to have a Venom versus Carnage movie, which I'm guessing
That would be
neither
fucking
of these are
awesome.
going to happen now.
That would
They
be
would have
fucking
been-
awesome.
yeah.
Venom versus Carnage, the two symbiote.
Yeah, so that would have been that would have been a cool thing to see. Like, to those hope they may still do something, but it depends if it fits in with the Marvel MCU now. It all has to fit in,
Who knows?
which is cool, but also restricting at the same time. That you can't just do whatever the fuck you want with these characters. Which is
Why
kind
they
of
fucking do?
Yeah, well, yeah, but it still has to fit in with like the long-running Avengers plan somehow, doesn't it? I mean, I guess the solo films don't really affect things too much.
No shit. It depends on what.
The only
storyline you're
solo
following.
films that really affect the main storyline majorly is Captain America.
Yeah.
Something 2 where spoilers if you haven't watched Captain America 2, but SHIELD gets shut down, and then that affects the Avengers.
And then they had a spin-off TV series with Shield,
Yeah,
which I never watched.
No, but I've heard varying things. I've heard some people. I think they're on a second series, and I think the second series is going to be a lot better.
Don't get me.
I don't know. I
The
haven't
biggest
watched
problem I have at the moment, and don't get me wrong, because I love superhero style like Marvel and DC. I grew up with it, but I'm getting a bit sick of it all. There's so many spin-offs and so many things. Everyone's gone mad for it. It's like the new zombie film or zombie thing idea. Everyone's gone mad for superheroes, and it's sort of like, well, if it's done well, fine. But like, there's Flash, there's Arrow, there's fucking Daredevil now as well. There was Shield, there was Gotham.
TV show wise.
TV and film, but TV spin-offs have happened more. But it's just getting a bit boring.
I don't mind. Though I haven't really watched much of it, but I don't watch a lot of TV anyway. But I really like Arrow. I haven't seen Flash, but I've heard people say that it's amazing.
Loads of people have been bigging up Daredevil.
Yeah, I've heard loads of good things about Daredevil. But the weird stuff about the DC stuff is, I was just complaining about everything having to fit into the MCU. But that does make things feel cooler and more connected. And like, if you're watching Daredevil, then somehow, even if it never like actually relates to a film, somehow you're still like involved in that universe. But DC ones, they've outright said all the TV shows aren't connected to the films, which is just really weird. And I understand they're kind of written into a corner with Arrow, because like Arrow's used a shitload of big villains. Like they've got Deadshot, Deathstroke, Ra's al Ghul, Talia, and then they've used like loads of other characters from it as well, like Huntress and stuff. So they are kind of written into a corner with, they had to make a decision because all that stuff had already happened before they made Man of Steel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, it just feels a bit weird that has nothing to do with it, especially since those shows are so loved and they're going to have a Flash film and it's not going to be the same character. Like,
yeah,
bit weird. It just makes things confusing.
Sorry,
even more so.
Arm's going numb.
But yeah, should we last week of your life?
Yes, let's last week of your life it.
Yeah. You want to start off? Life. Slice of life.
Got another one?
Life of pie.
I haven't been playing a great variety of games this last week. What I have been playing, though, which might sound stupid, but it's actually a lot of fun, is the free-to-play browser-based game Town of Salem.
Okay.
I don't know.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. And a few YouTubers have gamed it, but it's a lot of fun. It's basically 15 players per game, and it's set in the small town of Salem, and each person is given a random role or job. It's all picked up random, and you've got about 3 different alignments, or depending on what mode you play on, you can build your own roster of what roles you want. But you can play. I play classic, so you have the classic roles. But it's basically town versus mafia versus a serial killer.
Okay.
But no one knows whose each other's roles are unless they tell them, but they could be lying.
Yeah.
But also telling your role early on could mean that you'll be targeted by the team trying to kill you or get rid of you.
Yeah.
So the idea is that everyone's got a specific job, so like the investigator can investigate people at night and find out what their jobs might be. Sometimes it's clear cut and it says this person is this, other times it's like, well, they work with knives, so they could be the doctor, they could be the serial killer, you don't know. It could be a good one on your side, it could be one on their side, you know. So you have a day, and during the day you discuss what everyone's found out, and then you can lynch one person a day by basically execute them. And the idea is that each side has got to win against the other side. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun when you play with friends, especially if you're playing obviously not in the same room, because you could either tell your friend, well, yeah, I'm this, don't tell everyone else, but I'm this, and you could be lying to your friend. But you've got to try and convince the town you're either not something or you are something. Because some roles are things like jester. You have to, if you get lynched by the town, you get to, like, the next night you get to kill anyone you want, just one person, as like your sense of revenge. Yeah. So, but it's a lot of fun. I've been playing with a few people on that.
That sounds really cool.
It's a sort of detective trust-based game. It's a lot of fun. I played a bit more State of Decay. I mean, I've completed it before, so I'm just sort of doing the breakdown gameplay. I've got to level 5 on that, so I'm just trying to complete all the challenges, unlock all the heroes. Other than that, just those 2 really. I haven't had a very interesting week in that respect. I've been building up the airsoft site that we've got locally, which is a paintball site that have allowed us to run airsoft games there. So we've been building on the site to using pallets and wood, and we've got a game this Sunday to test it out. So other than that, work, that study. Not too much to report, I'm afraid.
I don't know, that Town Salem thing sounds quite cool.
Check it out. I mean, it's free. You can get it on Steam for certain benefits, but you can play it free on browser. You just got to make an account. Yeah. But check it out.
Yeah, I might have a look at that.
And if you do, let me know your username and we'll play.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I'll have a look at that.
But it's a casual game. I mean, you get for winning or doing things in game, you do get an in-game currency that you can update your look, like just basic things like that. But it's nothing, and you can freemium it. Not to make the game any different, just for aesthetic changes. Yeah. But it's just a nice sort of play around. And when you die, if you've been killed, a lot of people do tend to leave, but you can still get points if your side, whatever your side was, wins. And also there's a role called Medium that can speak to the dead people anonymously. So if anyone had any information they weren't able to get out while they were alive, they can say, well, actually, I think this is what I found out. Or just by having more people still watching, they can notice actions and sort of thing. Well, actually, I think from what Yeah. So just because you're dead doesn't mean you're completely useless either.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's cool. And you probably want to stick around anyway, especially if you're involved in looking in stuff and that. You'd want to stick around to see who it was.
Or even if you die I've died on the first night, you know, you can't. A lot of things you can't vote anyone out on the first night. You literally just you have the first day. You can discuss anything you want, and then you go to the first night happens. So you could be killed on the first night, and I found even if I'm killed on the first night, I still want to sit there and it's kind of like, well, I want to see how this plays out. Yeah, this could be quite interesting.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
What about yourself?
Yeah, I've been doing here and there, but I've been playing a bunch of games and stuff like Forest, done more Amnesia.
I need to watch your Amnesia playthroughs.
Yeah, it was good, but I only got to play it for a little while because my upload was, because I was streaming it, my upload was going fucked up, and it kept it wasn't constantly, but there was 2 points in it that the stream just cut out, and then I had to wait for my upload to start level itself out again, and it was just fluctuating a lot, and it doesn't normally do that. So,
right.
I just ended up leaving it because I was like, well, I don't know what's going on. Something's wrong with the internet. It didn't seem to be our side of things. Downloads and everything seemed fine, but it may have been the internet in general. That mythical beast that we name the internet that powers all our lives. But I think I did today was Life is Strange episode 3. and Let's Play that as I have with the other ones, mostly doing choices that I don't really want to pick. Though there was one choice that I kind of trying to go down a bad route in a way, and there was one choice that I was really umming and ahhing because there's nothing is ever clear cut as good or bad choices in that game.
Yeah.
Especially as like your best friend in the game isn't necessarily a good person, so like she's a nice. Again, she's mixed up morally. Like
She might be nice to you, but she might not be nice outwardly to others.
Well, she's never a horrible person, but she's done like bad things, and she's been rebellious in ways and stolen stuff and hung out with drug dealers and done all this type of thing. But she's not actually a bad person, but she's done outwardly bad things by society.
Yeah.
Considered bad. So like some of the time, like, and she's a bit like argumentative and can like fly off the handle about things unnecessarily. And at one point, there's a choice of whose side to pick in a situation, and I'm pretty sure everyone's going to pick your friend's side, and the argument of who you're arguing against, no one likes. But I feel really sorry for him because it's a guy that basically it's a stepdad, and he basically has PTSD.
Yeah.
And he's an arsehole, but because of
his PTSD.
Yeah, and I feel really sorry for him a lot of the time. Though, like, a lot of stuff's kind of out in the story of just, like, how much of an arsehole he is. So it's just, like, whose side to pick. And I was like, well, do I pick his side because that's kind of the choice that I don't want to make? But also, I feel like the thing is, she's just started shouting at him. It's not like he's come up to her. She's just started going off at him, and fair enough in a way. He does kind of just walk up to you as the player and just shout at you like over breakfast table unnecessarily, really. But like she suddenly just starts laying into him, and I guess defending him would just be like calm down the situation or join in. And so I thought, well, either way is not necessarily you're either going against your best friend or you're joining in attacking a man that is already being attacked and doesn't really need it. And is obviously suffering and isn't mentally healthy. So I was like, either way, I'm not sure which side to pick. Though, from speaking to most people, apart from me, no one seems to give a shit about his mental health or the fact that he has PTSD. Every time I feel really bad for him. He's like, I feel he's a really sympathetic character. Everyone else is like, he's a fucking scumbag. He's an arsehole. And I was like, how am I so different to everyone else? That like
everyone's different. Everyone takes different outlooks on
Yeah.
things. It's like just because you've got that doesn't mean you need to be mean you need to be a dick. Cause maybe he's being a dick because he has that.
Yeah.
maybe one feels the other rather than the other way round.
Yeah. In episode 2, he gets in an argument with his stepdaughter and hits her, and then afterwards straight away he like slaps her. He doesn't like pin her down or anything. He just like out of reaction he slaps her, and then you see straight away he feels bad about it. But he tries to rationalise the situation, and he kind of blames her, which is a dick move. But he's like, oh, I'm sorry, like I did that. And everyone's like, oh my God, he fucking slapped her. And yeah, he hit his stepdaughter, and that's bad. But it was the PTSD that was like coming up in him, and it wasn't necessarily, he wasn't in his right mind.
Yeah.
To say, like, that's the thing. And so I feel sorry for him, and he's an arsehole, but I still feel sorry for him, and he shouldn't be doing what he's doing though. Like, he's the head of security at a school.
You're not justifying it, but you're trying to understand it.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, but
sorry, work today.
Yeah, no one else I seem to have spoken to has anything close to my opinion about him. But fine, fair enough.
We'll get a different gameplay experience.
Yeah. I guess it's good that like people have got so different things out of it, and then people, especially a lot of people, have said the like a lot of the story points in this game are ones that are meant to be like that, and like really hit home, and they're like big like talking points, discussions. There's suicide. There's obviously like drugs and stuff. Then there's school bullying.
Well, I always found that with
like
Telltales and Walking Dead. I always found that a lot of the decisions in that, some of them were pretty trivial, but might have a lasting effect. Like someone might not like you later, but others were sort of like big decisions where you thought, This is quite a hard one to make. And it would usually be like, you only have a time limit. And you're like,
Yeah, well, yeah, luckily there's no time limits in this. And even if there was, you could just travel back in time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why there's no time limit.
So, yeah, because otherwise it'd be pointless. There are points where they do limit your powers at times, though. Because in Game World, it hasn't even been a week. It's been like 3 days, I think. I think each episode's a day. So she's had this power for 3 days. And a fucking lot of crazy shit's happened in 3 days.
Life is strange.
Yeah, life is strange. But it's understandable that like she's not like almighty powerful with this ability. It has its limits, and
she doesn't know what they are yet.
Yeah, and you see it grow over the first time. Like when she uses it too much, she starts to get like headaches and nosebleeds and stuff. So and like there's time limits to how long ago she can travel back and how far in one go she can travel back, stuff like that. So yeah, there's no like this is this and this, and because it fluctuates, it's like the more she uses it, the more she gets better at it.
If I use this too much, my brain tries to escape through my nose.
Yeah, but there's also like crazy like climate stuff going on in this game. Like at the end of the first episode, it's in the middle of summer and it starts to snow. In the end of the second episode, a random eclipse happens, which is probably a lot bigger deal than they say it is.
Yeah, it's like, that wasn't scheduled. It's like, well, there's a problem then, because that means the moon's not doing what it should.
Yeah. See, my theory about that, though, was that because, like, the power, maybe it only encompasses the Earth, so the moon's still been moving.
Yeah.
So, like...
You would have thought people would... No, but scientists
wait
be
a second. What's the moon jumping along in the
no
sky?
scientist or no astronomer's going to sit there like, oh, an eclipse. Nothing in the diary. Oh, well, we'll just take this as a win. Everyone's going to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
The moon is not doing the orbit as it usually...
There's your friend who's like a real science guy. And he's not like the cliche science guy either. It's quite cool. He's kind of like a prankster guy as well. So like he's a massive dick though. He's all like, oh, I watch cool films. He's kind of like a hipster. It's really annoying. But like he
didn't bat an eyelid. He's like,
He at the end of that episode, he's sitting with Max, your character, and he's like, there's an eclipse. That's not meant to happen. Trust me, I would know. And it's like, well, I'm pretty sure everyone like would be like. And she goes, I trust you. Like what? Like he's gonna be lying, or like eclipses? They tend to get announced like when it happens.
Eclipses are big news, so everyone doesn't start losing their shit.
They're not just, oh my god, the sun's gone.
Why is it dark all of a sudden? No one told me this.
And so just that bit of dialogue really annoyed me. And why
is that what she said?
Sat there and were like, oh, I'll just turn it off again. They're like, oh, there's an eclipse. Well, this is weird. Let's just carry on sitting here, not like go somewhere and look into this.
Is that all that she says to him? Is that that's not meant to happen? And I would know. And she's like, I trust you.
Well,
and they're just going back to watching it. This is probably very dangerous, or something's going to happen.
It like fades out like straight after that. So right. I don't know. But yeah, I'd be like running to the internet and be like, what the fuck is going on? Like.
Run to your nearest astronomer. Yeah. What the hell's happening? Shake him. You didn't what? You didn't foresee this shit. No, we're all confused as you are. It was nice though.
Well, Windows 97 has.
Oh god.
Yeah, and then in this episode, birds are just dying.
Let me guess, no one bats an eyelid.
Oh, no one seems to notice. Like, you haven't walked along and just seen birds drop out of the sky. You've walked and you've seen a few birds dead on the ground, and there's like some birds lined up on the ground. And she's like, wow, why are these birds lined up on the ground like this? That's fucking ominous. And it's fair enough. You kind of like wouldn't think too much about it. And then you start just seeing more and more birds like throughout the rest of the game.
Oh, right.
It's not like there's a huge patch of dead birds. Like,
this is a huge pile. Do you think you turn around that? Shouldn't we be concerned about this? And someone in the background is like, you know what the fucking game's called, right? Like literally everyone's all in on it. It's like, what were you expecting when you played this game? Life is strange.
There is a bit later on where
if you're not questioned why you can turn back time, we all know. We all reverse. We all know. We all remember. Max.
There's like at the end, like near the end of this episode, there is like a big patch, loads of birds flying through the sky. I literally just thought they were just going to go just fall, but no.
Well, that's weird.
Instead of that, loads of whales turn up on the beach, like loads of beach dead whales, and you're like, oh well. I mean, that's not as strange as the other crazy climate stuff. I mean, that could just happen. Obviously, you're hinting that it's something fucked up, but that could just happen. Though I don't know how near Wales are to Oregon.
I'd love to see the next day the reaction from the townspeople. Isn't it strange? All those whales turned up dead, and all the birds fell out the sky, and it's snowing, and there was an eclipse. I guess I'll chalk it up to random coincidence.
In the second episode, they are like quite a lot of people are like, that was fucking weird about the snow, and then a few people are like, I hear it's climate change, and then like they do talk about it. It's like,
oh, it's not like
absolutely ignore it.
Yeah, no one ignores it.
And then this episode is it starts off as the night of the day of the second episode.
So it's
and then it goes to like, it has a bit in the morning, but you don't really interact with the rest of the world in that bit, so it's fair enough
that you're not going to hear from anyone saying the eclipse was strange last night, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it's kind of, it's fair enough that that's happened.
I think it's climate change.
Yeah. That would be funny. The eclipse is climate change.
Maybe the whole game is just right at the end of the game after the credits. It says climate change is a thing. Beware. This is the game made for the climate change awareness.
But like, I don't understand how the main character and her friend who knows about her abilities, how they haven't thought, this crazy shit is coinciding with the times that I got my powers, and the whole thing, it's leading up to a giant tornado that hits the town, because she's been having these visions of it and everything. Right. And she's talked to him.
Giant tornado, that's weird.
How are you not thinking, one, these are to do with my powers, maybe I'm fucking something up by using them, and two, that we're looking into this mystery of this other stuff that's happening in town, and they're also somehow thinking they may find something out about this tornado. What, from like looking through your principal's desk? I have no fucking idea how you do that. But
I'm a 15-year-old girl and I'm hormonal.
They're 18
or whatever. Whatever, teenage girl in university or whatever, or college, whatever they want to call it, and they're like, no, but boys. I'm not trying to be sexist in that account, but from what I played part of the first episode, and she's like this awkward girl who's like,
she does become like more confident and more like herself as it goes on, and like the other character acknowledges
the other girls are mean to me at college. They're all bitches, and it's like, oh well. Surely you should be focusing on the big ominous thing that's happening here. It's like, no, college is annoying.
Yeah, no, it gets to like, it does move past that. Like, it does move on. Like, you have the boy who's,
I wonder if Caleb notices me.
You do have like the other boy, but she's kind of like blowing him off all the time.
All right.
That's a huge porn game.
This sounds like college.
No, she's like kind of like ignoring him, and he's like, oh, let's go to film night, and she's like, look, I've got stuff to do. So it's not all
look, I have to uncover the mystery of the tornado. It was the principal all along. With his giant,
you take off the tornado outfit and it's the principal spinning on the spot.
I meant more they had a giant death tornado ray. Yes, now no one will ever skip school again. Oh. Right, so that's what you've done with your week.
Yeah, and you can find the Let's Play up on there.
I'm gonna check this out when I get home. I'm gonna crack open a Copperberg and watch it.
Yeah, it's good. I really enjoyed it, though a lot of people have been like, this episode was the best one. The last bit, oh my fucking shit. Everyone's like saying how amazing that last bit of the episode was. Liz, even she played it and she said how good it was. But for me, I just thought the last 15 minutes, like, it was so much was building up, and then like the last 15 minutes of the game, they suddenly just like went, no, we're just gonna hit the brakes, and then like just, well, I guess turn a corner, but it was like I don't know, it just completely just fucked everything up, and not in, to me it wasn't in a, oh my god, look at all this shit way. It was just like, well, why have you done that?
All right.
Like, and I think it's really hard to, like, there's times when it's like hard to avoid a spoiler to explain something, But this is, if you watch it, you understand it's really hard to avoid a spoiler to explain this. But like, I just feel, it's just I assume it's all going to be set back again. Like they'll kind of like move on from this bit of the storyline that they've put themselves in. But I just feel it would have worked better as a whole episode being this, rather than finishing off the episode with this bit, and then I guess the next episode is going to start with this bit. It should have been one on its own, I feel.
Oh, right, okay.
It would have, like, so far, I feel the last 15 minutes, and then what's going to be, I guess, the first half.
You have to find out for the next episode.
Yeah. Well, I don't.
Who knows?
I don't feel it. Everyone thinks it's amazing, and I don't.
Such a nonconformist.
I didn't realise that everyone. I knew Liz liked it. I didn't interact with anything like this when I played it, and then looked into it afterwards, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, this was so good," and I was like, "Really?" Right.
Fair enough.
And it doesn't end in the same ways that, like, I kind of liked the beats that you've got into in like the first 2 episodes. There's like they have set beats that happen in the story in the episode.
That happens when you play with them, by the way.
And you see it happening, and then because of the last 15 minutes just going off the rails, like those beats aren't there, and that may be why a lot of people were like shocked, just because like the certain storyline beats that you're expecting and things to happen didn't, and then so that does kind of mess people up sometimes. But I just felt it was annoying because I was looking forward to those storyline beats, and like at the end of each episode there's always a, like I did say before this, Life is Strange is very similar to Donnie Darko, the film, in a way. And at the end of Donnie Darko, do you remember that at the end it has like a bit where it looks at everyone who was in the story, and obviously like they're in the real universe thing, and everyone's kind of remembering what's happened.
Yeah.
And they're all looking like, whoa, that was fucked up. At the end of each Life is Strange, if you played the first one and you see at the end it has like a clip of everyone like reacting to the day's events, and that didn't happen in this one.
All right.
So when you watch it for obvious reasons, and they couldn't show it, but it was just like, well, I like that bit. I like kind of like it's a wrap up to that episode.
Have to mix it up a little bit, Carl.
Yeah, but
no,
no.
Basically, fuck off.
Well, I just feel like that's part of what makes it, and that's a big part of finishing the episode. Is like it's almost as, because it's all like options and stuff. It's as big as the like looking up your options, what options you picked and what others picked at the end. Yeah, it's a wrap up to all those options and that kind of thing. So I just feel like even if they didn't put it in the story, they could have just included it after the credits. Was like, and then here's the look of everyone like reacting to the options at the end of it. It's the reaction to everything happening.
You might be given one at the start of the last one, at the next one, at the start of the next one.
Well, possibly. Yeah, as I can't say, like, there's a reason why it's not there. Okay. It makes perfect storyline sense why it's not there.
I'll check it out.
Because they basically left off in the middle of, like, because as I said, each one it's the end of the day.
Don't spoil it.
When I say each one it's the end of the day, so it's like people going home or sitting in their room or basically contemplating what happened in that day, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And this one, it doesn't end at the end of a day, so there's not that situation to arise of that kind of thing, and there's just not it wouldn't have fit in the story.
Okay.
So it makes perfect storyline sense why it's not there. It's just that I kind of miss, and when you get them so sporadically, it's kind of like you want it to be what you want it to be. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you were playing them all in one go, then it's like, cool, they didn't stick to the same thing. I don't have to sit through and see the same thing every time. But when you're playing them every few months, you kind of, I don't know, you want what you expect.
You just like your routine.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. Did you want to?
We'll take a break quick.
Yeah. Take a break, and then we'll be back in a minute. My face looks like plastic.
It is stretched over a brick.
My death. Podcast restarting. I didn't tell you this, but
Don't spoiler.
the video didn't record of that first part. The audio recorded, so
Whatever.
I mean that's the important part, obviously. But the video didn't
Is there
record.
any point in us still videoing?
Oh, I've just started it again. It'll be fine. I'll upload the video. I do what I did last time. We didn't.
Go to
have a video.
1066 Airsoft.
Yeah, there you go. You
Go to this.
it's there. See, there is point.
There is point. Advertising within the podcast.
The thing is, I still got to upload it to YouTube, so we might as well have a video. Right.
No, fair enough.
Um,
Welcome to the second part where you can see us.
Yeah, there'll probably be some
'Cause this one
gameplay
fucked up.
footage or something that I've grabbed from one of my Let's Plays to have a video there.
With your little face in the corner going,
Just talking, being like,
because you get angry quite a lot, especially with Resident Evil.
yeah, I haven't done that.
I can't even control the door. I'm just I haven't seen it. I'm just imagining what it would be like. What the? What? Yes, I wanted to go that way.
It was kind of like that.
Yeah, but right.
Yes. So
This week,
we talk. Our discussion of the week is going to be about cheats, but not just cheats. It's basically the decline of cheats in video games. There's a few certain points that I want to bring up about it. So we're talking about mainly like cheats were big and abundant in games in the old days, and I have an opinion about that as well. And it's very much similar.
you're very opinionated today, aren't
it's
you?
very much similar to the difficulty discussion we had last week, and then also the cheats that recently declined in recent years, and I felt that kind of started off with achievements and trophies that they started to like game developers weren't sure what to do with cheats anymore, because obviously you're cheating to get the trophies or the achievements, and that's kind of unfair, or kind of makes them worthless.
Games that do have cheats just remove the ability to get achievements.
Now
don't
they've
they?
started doing that.
Well, they've done that for quite a while.
I say now, yeah, but it was like in the first like 3 years or so, 2-3 years of like the 360's life, like they didn't really know what to do, and now I think it's kind of like it stopped the trend. So like GTA still has cheats in it. GTA 4 had cheats in it, but they just meant that you couldn't get
Any achievements or trophies on that save.
Yeah, which is fair enough, really.
Oh, that's fair enough, but it also, I think the point. Well, I'm going to preempt the point that you're going to make about achievements with cheats, is that achievements. Although I do like achievements and trophies and things, especially if it's something that's hard, not something like you press start or you completed chapter 1. It's like, oh well, I was going to do that at some point. So it's not really an achievement. I was going to progress to this level at some point, whether I did it in this playthrough or session, or whether I did it, years to come because I got frustrated and the game was too hard. It would have naturally occurred, me getting that just by completing the first part. But one that says, like, I was bringing this up with you, I think, with Dead Rising 1, some of the achievements in that were fucking ridiculous. Some of the later ones, and I managed to get them, and I felt a real sense of I achieved that, and I did that. I wasted all these hours of my life doing that. But, the point that you were going to say is that achievements take away the fun of cheats. Because the idea of cheats wasn't that you'd play it usually very seriously, it would be a fact that you play it to have fun. So therefore it kind of takes, not all of the fun, you still have fun playing video games, but it takes away the wacky fun that you might have, which is why everyone loved GTA in the first place. Yeah, you could follow the storyline, or you could just run around killing people for a laugh, not that you're a psychopath, just because, this is quite fun. I ran over 3 Elvises in GTA, and then suddenly I hit a car, and that blew up, and there was a police pile up, and it was hilarious. And then I had a tank, because I had cheats, or I had unlimited ammo. Whereas achievements are sort of like, well, we kind of want you to play. You can use cheats, but you're not going to get the trophies. Like, well, yeah, fine.
Achievements of a serious game.
But it's almost like you sort of feel like you're betraying yourself in a way, because every time it's come up saying that with things, I think, but okay, well, I just won't save. I'll have a bit of a DOS around session, then I'll not save. But it's almost like, so I either have fun doing it seriously, fine, or fun having wacky, but neither of the two shall meet.
Yeah.
It's almost like, surely if you just disabled cheats without even if you saved, it would be like, okay, achievement fine to get again, as long as it wasn't one that.
Yeah, I think they should just implement it in the game that, like, cheat mode enabled, and then like I guess like even depending on what the cheat is, like it would just save at the start of that before you start doing cheats. Like you'd have to turn on the cheat mode, so it would save beforehand, and then you could have it save afterwards. But I don't know, maybe no storyline would have progressed, and it would have recorded like your ammunition or your health beforehand. So you could have done what you had done and be the other side of the map and be saved over there, but if you'd had infinite ammo, it's not going to spawn you with the full amount of ammo in a clip. It will spawn you back with what it was. So it's half and half of the idea.
Yeah,
is that could be a fair way to get both of them going. Though I think publicly as well, a lot of people have kind of gone against cheats in a way.
On the flip side, do you think that maybe early games or games, say for example like Tomb Raider, Tomb Raider's cheats were usually, we're not going to go on the classic mythical cheat of Tomb Raider, which is bullshit. Yeah. We're going to go on the one about infinite ammo or all weapons cheat, because that's what I always used to do. Is all weapons, all ammo. It's because games like that could be the early ones could be hard and frustrating. It might not be hard, but it might be really frustrating. So in order to sort of take the edge off, game developers thought, well, this bit's a bit annoying, or this bit's quite hard to do if you've only got your standard arrow. You can do it, but it's difficult. Do we add this in so that if someone wants, they can just fucking breeze through that? I know that defeats the point of challenging a game, but it's almost like, well, they can have a bit of a doss about with it.
Well, I think there's two things that cheats relate to. Like, as I was saying, how cheats relate to our difficult discussion. It's not necessarily about how difficult games were, but it adds extra cheap replay value without them adding extra content to the game. Yeah. So now there's more content, so you don't have to worry about replay value. But back then, there wasn't so much. Games were a lot shorter. That you could they would give you all these cheats. So, and especially like a lot of the time, it'd be like you complete the game and it would unlock just a cheat list that you'd access in the main menu. So that would just add in more replay value of like, look, now I can play it with big heads and random stuff. And it's like, if this stuff wasn't here, I wouldn't be playing this game again. But it's just because there's this stupid stuff.
I was literally about to bring up big head mode with you. Yeah. I want to know what genius thought that when someone was developing the model or modelling a character in a game, was like, hey Terry, watch this, and just enlarges the head. And the guy that he's called over to look at it suddenly can't talk for the amount of laughter that's coming from his mouth, and then sort of wets himself a little bit. And they thought, we should add this in. I think the first time I ever played a game and enabled big head mode, I genuinely had no idea, even though big head mode, you sort of think that's obvious. Yeah. But I had no idea what it was, whether that was like a code or a euphemism for something. Yeah. And I literally started it up, and it was literally my character had a huge head. I was like, I won't be playing like that then. I didn't find it funny in the slightest. So, no, awesome. I really didn't. Even as a kid, I was like, well, that's kind of stupid. Yeah. So I just want to know what this fella's like. Put this in. Look, his head's massive. Look how low his polygon count is. But his head's huge. Ha ha! Let's put it in. I bet everyone else will find this equally funny. Yeah, no. That's what happened. I don't know. Maybe there's a group of people out there that are like, oh, I won't play a game unless big head mode isn't in it. But I just never found it fucking funny. I find this conversation about it funny, but I do not find big head mode amusing.
I find it quite amusing. It's clear. It was definitely like some dev companies and stuff like on a certain day of each month you can just make whatever the fuck you want for the game. It will be like a DOS day where you can just do what the fuck you want, something stupid, and if people really like it, it'll be put in a game. And it probably came out something like that. That someone was just like,
to me, that's even worse.
He's probably like had this idea in his head for ages, like look at the big heads, and then he's like, oh, I can do it today. I'll just implement this. Everyone that has big heads, and then like
go back to our hypothetical conversation. Terry gets called over to look at what this developer or this modeler's done, wets himself laughing at the big head. That big head, this big-headed model. Is like, you should show that on the DOS day to everyone and see what they think. So he then goes into a room for ideas of what DOS crap should go in, and this whole room of people erupts into laughter at seeing a big-headed character, and then suddenly it's straight in.
Yeah, why would that not happen?
But like no build-up of laughter, just naught to hilarious. So, and now I present to you, the screen comes on. And it's like Tony Hawk's with a giant head. And they're like, ah ha ha! suddenly it's implemented.
Well, you could see that happening definitely with like as it's like crunch time and stuff like that, and everyone's going a bit crazy from looking at the character models for so long. They're finally
He's
like,
got a huge head.
"You messed the character model up. That's so funny."
The only time I think changing the proportions is fun is like if you're playing a wrestling game or a game where you can create a character and they give you the proportions to fuck around with. So like, say you're playing Skyrim or Oblivion, you made their head like really wide but really like short, so it's like a really wide flat head. And like I don't know, some ridiculous feature. And this character's walking around Oblivion or like Cyrodiil, and like, oh, you're the one that helped kill the sealed the Oblivion gates, and you're just like, well, yep, that was good.
I've seen a lot
We're
of
flat-headed freaks.
that's really common, it seems, with BioWare games. Like, I've seen a lot of people, like there was one I saw an Inquisitor who had a giant nose and like massive ears, and like like buck teeth or something. Like I don't know, you can make like a pout or something. And yes, I sealed a breach.
But then if you look at it in modern day, big head mode, everyone thinks it's bedwetting hilarious. Assassin's Creed Unity has it where the face doesn't render properly and the eyes and the teeth are flowing. I thought that was quite amusing. Everyone's like, the fuck is this shit?
It terrified me.
It was
It was horrific.
We understand that.
Why was that not implemented?
That's a glitch that needs to be
That should
fixed.
be in the new Assassin's Creed as a cheat.
No
face mode.
If I saw no face mode, that would definitely be more funny because at least that's interactive,
Yeah.
So like the character's like, I'm really sorry, your child died, and all it is teeth, muscle, and eyes with no eyelids going, I'm really sorry, your child died. That to me would be funny. Doctor with a giant head telling you that you've got a brain tumour, when you're like, I'm pretty sure you've got the tumour. Not as funny to me, But everyone starts losing their shit. It's like, it's all right, yeah. We understood that they'd probably do something like that. That it's not going to work. It's a bug. They'll fix it at some point. Yeah, you want it fixed on day one.
It was fixed on day one. That was the thing. It was fixed in the day one patch, but people didn't turn it on so they could complain about it.
But everyone moaned about it.
Yeah.
Again, big head mode though. Look at the funny big head.
Ubisoft, we're calling you out. In Syndicate, you have to have no face mode. Cheat. And they can do that with the new, like, Animus is a games console now. Of course you can implement stupid shit like that in the game and have it lore friendly. Like,
what would you like your Animus to do? Take everyone's faces off. You sure you wouldn't like to go back to this time? Make everyone's faces go now.
I'm reporting you to the police.
Like, hello. Assassin, thank God you're here. Looks like Jack the Ripper's done another one. Nope, no face mode. Sorry, we're getting a bit.
You exactly like that image as well.
I felt we're getting a little bit off topic.
Yeah,
but that's my fault. Sorry.
Also, it killed achievements. Everything killed an entire industry. They killed Action Replay and Game Genie and stuff like that.
Yeah, true.
They destroyed them.
The days when you'd buy a magazine and it came with a cheat book that was as thick as Gideon's Bible.
Yeah. And they had like the cheat discs were like almost a legitimate thing, and now it's pretty much considered modding your console. Having one of those, and it's like so flip. Like, yeah, sure, it was never like 100% legitimate, but it was kind of like, this is something that happens and whatever.
Do you remember Game Shark for the Game Boy?
Yeah.
Was it Game Shark?
Yeah,
it was Game Shark, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was a big
Someone correct me if
Action
I'm
Replay
wrong
guy.
if it's not Game Shark.
But they could add some good stuff to the game as well, like, because they got into the code and everything. It was just hacking.
Yeah.
But like in, I don't know, a disc form. I don't know how it's better. It wasn't multiplayer. It's fine if it's not a multiplayer thing, I think. And also, there's the issue of, say, what's it? The genocide achievement in Dead Rising. You work really hard to get that, or you drove around in a car for a really long time to get that.
Yeah.
And or someone's just turned up and put in their Action Replay and just had a gun that fires instant death.
Yeah.
Like, just, it's a nuke in a pistol.
That's not fair.
And it's kind of, it's not fair.
It's not fair, but it shouldn't give them the achievement, which it wouldn't do.
Well, no, with Action Replay stuff, it would though.
Oh, right.
That's the issue. That's why it became such a, like, kind of like a bad thing, is because you can do it to you can just unlock the achievement. You can change the code so it just gives you the achievement without doing it as well. So that's why they're kind of like, I don't think they've necessarily ever done that, but it's possible for them to do. And so I think like they kind of started classing them as like modding like now. So yeah, because you still can get the achievements with doing that stuff, it overrides anything like that in the game. So yeah, it's kind of a bit of a shame and unfair, but I see where they're coming from in that issue.
I can't remember with the later ones. I assume that the latest Saints Rows have cheats to them.
Yeah, I think so.
Because you'd expect, it seems to be that more zany games, so like GTA has always done it, have much zanier cheats.
Yeah.
So,
well, I don't know what you do in Saints Row.
Well, pretty much fuck around anyway.
Yeah, but what you do to apart from like infinite cheats and stuff like infinite like weapons, health and stuff like that. The game's already fucking crazy enough as it is.
No gravity mode?
No gravity, you can fly in 4.
Can you?
Yeah, you're a superhero.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. You can run faster in cars, you can jump over buildings, you can do all this shit. So like, where do they go with cheats? They're like, well, the entire game is that.
All right, well, with first-person ones, not necessarily Call of Duty, because that takes itself far too seriously, even though, yeah, let's not get into that, without insulting people. With, like, say, first-person shooters that are heavy physics-based games, so say, I wouldn't say Half-Life, because Half-Life's on PC, so that's quite easily doable, and it's half of what Gary's mod does, which is great. But say, what was it? It wasn't what was it called? The
Bulletstorm.
Bulletstorm. I never played it, but I know it's a first-person shooter that's meant to be quite fun and sort of like, you know, like sliding and knife kills and throwing knives.
Yeah, it's all about points and stuff. And like,
but what if suddenly you said like because it has a base on physics, so humans do certain fall certain ways, boxes will fall certain ways, concrete falls certain ways. What if everything's light as a feather, like no gravity mode, or what if everything's bouncy?
Yeah.
So, like, you do an amazing kill and, like, kick someone into a wall, and all of a sudden they go boom, and the ragdoll just flies backwards. You know, even things as subtle as that, because you could make some pretty fun, especially with like, modern consoles, like the Xbox One, you can go Xbox record that and make some pretty hilarious things. So I know with PC you don't really need cheats as much, because if you've got the time and effort, and there's always people out there to do so, they will mod it, so you can do things like that.
The modding community's taken over that stuff.
Yeah, but when it comes to consoles, it's sort of like, well, that would have been fun, especially if it's a game you really like and like to doss around in. Yeah,
well, it's like they have mentioned, Phil Spencer has said that he would like mods to come to console.
It's going to be difficult, though.
Yeah, but with... I guess it would help the fact that the thing of making every Xbox One be a possible dev machine could they could do a bit on there that I don't know, like I can't remember what Skyrim's one of it was called, but Fallout had the GEC, which was their system that to help you make mods and stuff like that. You could have like maybe an Xbox wide one, or game devs could make their own ones to put on it. And I mean, you could probably do it from the ground up on the console yourself if you wanted, or they like companies that allowed you to, because it would probably also be like a tick box when from the publisher, would you allow your game to be modded? Because obviously the console is still more of a closed system, even if mods were allowed.
Of course,
like I'm sure a lot would tick it. But
the other thing as well is would it be an open community, or would it have to be a green lit community, like how a lot of Steam games has a green light sort of system in which people vote to say, this mod allows you to do this, and you think, because then you'd have to base it on whether, if it was done through a console sort of base, like a database system of it, is it have to make sure that none of it was offensive, or I guess to a certain degree they'd have to say that you can't have like nudity in the sense of penetrative sex, or what, you know, there's all these regulations to say that, you know, you can't do that. I know in like the PC anything goes when it comes to the modding community, which is fair enough.
I think that's probably one of the biggest issues they're having with the idea of it. Of course you could just lock it so all mods, you can only use mods if you're 18 over. That could be a way that you just get it easy way out.
But then that'll turn, controversy wise in the news and everything, it will turn to people saying like, oh well, this person was playing a video game and it had porn in it, or it had Nazis and Hitler was, I don't know, skull fucking a Jew, and because it would be, if you make it open, it leaves it open to anyone's opinion and interpretation, which is, you know, exactly what the internet's about. But when it comes to fall on a company's lap that their game was modded so that you could go around doing blah 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 blah, it looks bad on them because they allowed it to happen, if you know what I mean. Whereas on PC, there's no law. Well, there's no rules for it. They can't hunt down every person with a copy and go, is this a legit? Is this unmodded and doesn't have anything dirty on it or whatever? It's kind of as soon as you've got it on a PC, it's like yours to do whatever. I guess there are laws against what you can do, but people will go against the law as they do.
I don't know. I'm not sure because that stuff exists on PC. If people were going to react like to that stuff on console, would they necessarily do it if it's like because they don't do it on PC already? Would they necessarily, or would it be because it's a console somehow that attracts more mainstream attention?
I think it seems to be mainstream attention because if you look at it this way, with a PC, if you have a modification that makes a game either dirty or heavily offensive, is nothing on the PC by going on the internet that isn't already dirty or when I say dirty, makes it sound like I'm 13, but pornographic or amazingly offensive because it exists and you can visit it freely on the internet. Whereas a console is sort of like, oh, my kid plays a console or my kid plays the Wii or things like that. So parents will turn around and suddenly go, my son has access to smut on his thingy. It's like, well, as a parent, you should be monitoring this one. But it will happen. There will be a backlash towards it, I reckon, because people love to moan about not being parents when they are parents.
I think
I'm not doing my job properly, but I blame the gaming community.
It would have to be that you would have to. I mean, this may be a discussion that we just talk about on a different podcast.
Yeah, I think we'll have to.
But you'd have to make it 18 plus is the only way. But yeah, sure, it will still happen. It still happens with 18 plus games that, oh, this kid was playing this and that means this game's evil, or maybe the kid shouldn't be playing that. But that's also a discussion for another podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's a little another thing that brought up the idea of talking about this cheat discussion was Mortal Kombat has brought up two different discussions on this podcast now. One about the characters, and this one it also made me think about it more was because the microtransactions in Mortal Kombat, there's the easy fatality mode in it.
Oh, I saw this. You press one button, it does it.
Yeah, easy fatalities have always been in Mortal Kombat games, but they've been a cheat. And now they're basically charging microtransactions, and it's not just you unlock the mode to do it, it's you have tickets of doing it.
Oh, what, so you're going to do it so many times?
Yeah. So you buy like 30 tickets for $5.
Oh, wow.
So
that's kind of selling out, isn't it?
Yeah, that's like...
So that's not kind of selling out. That's selling out.
Yeah, like people complained about like Assassin's Creed Unity had some controversial microtransactions in it, but that was like that again. It does interact, I guess, with it because it had stuff like health and stuff that would make the game easier, and that could have been considered to be cheats before. But this was something that was set. That Assassin's Creed has never had cheats in it.
No.
So, but. Mortal Kombat has always had this mode as a cheat, and now you're charging people to have it, and not only are you charging people to have it, you're charging it per use.
It's a finite thing.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I'd heard about it, but I didn't know that there was a ticket-based system for it.
Yeah, which makes it so much... It's bad enough, and then that makes it so much worse.
Not only that, again, it goes back to the whole sense of achievement thing. Like, say you're playing... say you're playing online with someone, and you beat the shit out of them, and you win, and you get to do... It's time for your fatality to prove that you can actually...
Yeah.
I know you can look it up on the list once you've unlocked it, but once you can actually prove that you can master your hand at it... Because a lot of them can be quite annoying. Not all of them, let's be honest. Some of them are piss easy. But it's almost like that sense of achievement. It's not only did I kill you, I cut your face off and burnt your heart out, but I also mastered the fact that I can do it with my thumb.
Yeah.
I know that sounds like a really lame sense of achievement. It's like, I can do this with my thumb. I can do this with my thumb. I can do this with my thumb. But it's still a sense of I won.
Yeah.
I won. Haha. Whereas this being like, now I only have 4 left. And especially because it's a fighting game, it's a competitive game.
At least it's not. You can do the fatality at any time during the game.
Yeah, it just
they're
gonna throw a punch, you just dead.
Fatality. That would be a lot worse.
That'll be the next microtransaction.
Yeah.
Right? For a certain amount of time at the start of each game, you cannot be hurt. You're invincible for like 10 seconds for the first part of the game, each round.
Yeah.
But only for like 10 games, and then you have to buy more.
Yeah.
Sell out. Oh, cool, sell out.
Yeah, they got other stuff in it, like you can pay to unlock all the crypt, which is their like
Oh yeah, I know
like
the
their,
crypt. Yeah, I know
it's,
the
it's
crypt.
their like collection area of where you unlock stuff during the game. So you can just buy everything in there. So but that's not really anything. I think that the crypt does have those things because you can earn them in the game, I believe.
Yeah.
The easy fatalities, I believe you can earn them, but it's like really hard to actually get them because you have to earn like the coins with a K, I believe. And then
Well, it's combat with a K. Why wouldn't it be coins with a K?
well, everything in it's with a K for some reason.
Portal combat. Sorry.
And I think you get coins and then you have to use like a like gambling machine basically, and you basically gamble with the coins and you can possibly get out something. You can get out stuff for the crypt, or you can get out like easy fatalities or other stuff.
The old ones used to be that you just saved up coins and you each different grave in the crypt
or
was a different amount of points. So you could be like, this one, and then you could use the internet to look up to find out which one was which.
Yeah, no, that's
it'll all be lucky dip.
Yeah, that's still the case, I believe. You still use coins to buy,
but you have to do it through a gambling machine first.
No, you can just go through the gambling machine, and you could possibly get one.
Oh, okay.
One, you could get enough. You can get like less coins back than what you put in, or you could get like something else from the crypt, or you could get like an easy fatality thing or something. You don't have to use it. You still can go around and buy them all.
But you could get bigger prizes from doing that.
Yeah, yeah. If you use the gambling machine, you could make like a certain amount of money into a much more expensive thing in the crypt. So,
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Possibly, but apparently it's quite hard stakes in it, like which is unnecessary it seems. But I guess
that's gambling for you.
Well, it also means they sell more of their things, doesn't it?
It does.
But yeah, that's kind of annoying. Yeah, was there anything else you wanted to mention about like your opinions on cheats over the years? Like,
other than the fact that we should see some more of them, especially when there's so many. You know, if you put your heads together, you can really. I can think of plenty.
Put your big heads together.
There's plenty that you could do, especially if you think of your selling point for your game.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if we go back a few years when Half-Life did came out, same it came out in the orange box before it came out on PC. Unheard of, I know, but imagine it did.
Yeah.
And you could think, oh, well, this game is, you know, the physics engine in this is a huge deal. In fact, a lot of things in Half-Life 2 are a huge deal. But you could easily sort of manipulate that to sort of like, well, let's make a mode where everything's squidgy or everything's, you know, like wet. So if it's meant to bounce, it's suddenly like, you know, or like things like that. Or make it so that the bullets, you know, you look at the modding community and how inventive people can get. You could easily have made that into a cheat that came with the game.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you should have an expansive list of ridiculous amount of cheats, but to not put any in at all sometimes. I mean, some games don't require, you know, you think you shouldn't have cheats in that.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think as you said, like the games that kind of are a bit more light-hearted or aren't like, I don't know, serious or competitive in some way, like they should do something, and like you can just have a side mode of just messing around with stuff. Like it doesn't have to be like if it's an open world game, then you could have it so cheats are turned on while you're in the open world, but once you start a mission, it turns them off.
See, although it's like a similar to in the unlimited ammo cheat, because it was its selling point, it made it a lot of fun. With the Max Payne games, or at least the first two, if I remember, there was a cheat for unlimited bullet time, so you could play the entire game if you wanted in slow mo, which could be annoying for the like getting around parts, which you could just turn it off. But as soon as you got into a gunfight, you wouldn't run out of bullet time. Not only could you do the dive in bullet time, but you could fight the whole fight in it. So every little attack, you'd suddenly see this like Sniper Elite style, this slow motion sort of. And it was pretty cool. You wouldn't get the X-ray, obviously, but it was a lot of fun. I always had fun with that when I was a kid playing Max Payne.
Yeah.
So now I want to do a slow-mo fight. Woo, I'm John. Woo, woo. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if they are worried about stuff as well, I think like just the old style of like just have it inaccessible unless you've completed the game.
Yeah.
Which was that was my other point early on that I forgot was when you were like, oh, there was cheats for like unlock all weaponry. Well, a lot of that also now is New Game Plus.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of in game, which I also think every single game should have, or every game that you unlock stuff in should have New Game Plus in it, really. It annoys me when games don't have it, because I've already fucking completed it. Now I just want to go and like mess around and
Have
do
a
it
laugh.
again and do it with the stuff, which is the same argument as the cheats, really, which I hadn't considered until I said it then. But you could have it if you want people to have the proper experience, have them complete the game, and then they can unlock all the cheats, all the no face modes, all the big head no face modes that you want.
Exactly. Don't compromise the game story, but have it at some point if you want to. You can, but obviously it's not going to be. Yeah, you know what I mean. But that's all I got. I'm done on that front.
That's cool. There was other stuff that I want to say. I forgot a lot of them though, since we got in a really long big head mode discussion.
Big head no
and
face.
We got into mods a bit as well.
Hashtag big head no face.
Big head no face mode. It's just like two eyes just floating around here and a
With a big
giant teeth. Hello.
You can make a good horror game out of that.
Yeah. There you go. Next game.
Five Nights at Faceless.
Okay, so
someone will point out, Bonnie already did that in number 2. All right.
I just imagine like walking along and these two eyes just like come past you, like
and the mouth overhead, and then it floats down, and the eyes just turn round. So, Jesus,
that would be terrifying.
Someone mod this.
Yeah.
Someone make a no face mod for most games.
All right, so thank you all for listening. I am Carl Lipscomb. I forgot my name for a second, and
because he's not Carl Lipscomb. I'm Carl Lipscomb. He is
I'm
a robot.
Just a robot with a face stretched over a brick.
Like in Tony Hawk's.
Yes, I am Carl Lipscomb, and today I was joined by my good friend and co-host Josh Crondon.
Hello. Goodbye.
And this was the Road Punch Gaming Podcast, episode 75, and we'll see you next week for our 2-year anniversary. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time. Toodly pip.
No face mode.